Hello, today we are discussing about chapter circles of class 9th. In circle, by the way, you are not, today we are discussing about new chapter circles of class 9th. About circle, I think you are familiar with this term circle. Let us start from the definition. What is circle? Circle. It is a two-dimensional round figure having one center. Okay. So from the center, the distance of all the points which are on the circumference of circle, they are equal. Okay. So the definition, it is a two-dimensional figure. It is a round shape, and the distance from the fixed point, that means distance from the center, is always equal to all the points which lying on the circumference of circle. By the way, one standard definition of it, circle is a locus of point which moves in such a way that its distance from fixed point is constant. Circle is a locus of point which moves in such a way that its distance from fixed point is constant. The fixed point is a circle and the locus of point is treated as a circumference, that means path of a circle. Okay. So this is a circle, any shape like this. Center point is here. As I told you that the distance always same. So these are the distances, and O is the center. These are the distance always equal. So we'll use the term as R, radius. Radius always equal, and O is the center. This boundary path is called the circumference of circle. Okay. In circumference of circle, there is a circle. In circle, there are three parts. Suppose on a plane, if I will draw a circle, okay, and I tell you that, okay, you make a list of the points which are on the circle, which are inside the circle, and which are outside of the circle. So I think there are three categories: inside the circle, inner part, on the circle, circumference part, and outside of the circle, that means the part where circle is not there, that means outside of the circle, whatever the points are coming. So these are the three groups. That means the plane is divided by the circle into three parts: inner part, outer part, and on the part, circumference of a circle. Okay. In circumference circle, many more things we'll have to discuss about that. I told you, this is a radius. If I'll make it double of the radius, straight line, it becomes a diameter. Diameter is always double of the radius. O is the center. R is, small r is represented by this radius of a circle. Okay, here one more, in this chapter, we will use one term. Let us discuss of this term, subtended angle. Subtended angle. Subtended angle. Subtended angle, what does it mean? Suppose if I'll talk about that the angle which is subtended at the center. So that means the angle which is forming at the center is called the subtended angle. When I use the term as that one part of a circumference of circle. Actually what happens? This is a circle. If I will talk about this portion like O, A, B. If I talk about the portion AB and I'll write only AB. So that means here we are talking about the straight difference from A to B. That means it is a chord AB. Chord AB. And chord AB, that means this is a straight line joining from A to B straight. Okay. Second, I'll use this term AB and making this mark. The meaning is arc AB. That means we are measuring from here to here along with circumference. Or we can use other term that it is a part of a circumference of a circle, AB. Okay. So this is called arc. Arc AB. Okay. So if I use the term like this, it is arc, or simply it is written that arc AB. Since this is the circumference of circle starting from A to A, if the circumference is divided into two parts, one is from A to B and second is from B to A. So I think there are two parts of it. One part A to B is smaller than part B to A. Okay. So that means AB is minor arc. AB is minor arc and BA is major arc. Major arc. Okay. This is minor and this is major arc. Now the question comes that find the angle subtended by an arc to the center. Arc AB, suppose arc is AB. Arc AB to the center if you are going to subtend an angle. So that means we are talking about this angle which is subtending at the center. So this is the meaning of subtended angle. Okay. So these are the things in which, so that is one, it is arc, this is chord, it is arc, and if I will cut this portion, okay, from the circle, if I am going to cut it, so there are two parts, part 1, part 2. So this part is called segment, it's a minor segment, and it is major segment. One more thing is there, that is sector. Sector, actually the definition of sector is the area of circle which is bounded by radii and arc. Which is bounded by radii and arc. That means these are the radii. Radii is a plural of radius. So radii and arc. So this portion is called sector. So that means in the sector it is must that this center will be involved in the sector. But in arc it is not compulsory that center will involve or not. Okay. Arc is a simple area of circle which is bounded by arc and chord. That is called segment. What is segment? Segment is an area of circle which is bounded by arc and chord. Sector is a part of a circle which is bounded by radii and arc. Okay. So these are the descriptions about the circles. Now we are coming to the topic. In this chapter, I think 11 or 12 theorems. Okay. And most of the theorems we will prove and we will keep in our mind when we will solve the questions. First theorem I am taking, theorem 10.1. Theorem 10.1. What is it? Equal chords of a circle, equal chords of a circle subtend equal angle, equal chords of a circle subtend equal angles at the center. Okay. Equal chords of a circle subtend equal angle at the center. Equal chords of a circle. Here there are two different conditions. Whether we are talking about a single circle or two or more circles. Here the theorem based on the single circle. Okay. Okay. So this is a circle. Question theorem is equal chords of a circle. That means in a circle, chords are equal. So I am taking two chords which are equal. Let AB and CD. Okay. Given. What to write in the given? In circle, if I write here in circle COR, what does it mean? The meaning is circle with center O, radius R. This is the meaning of it. In circle with center O, radius R. Name of the circle C, center O, radius R. AB is equal to CD. Given. To prove equal chords of a circle subtend equal angle at the center. So this chord AB, which is subtending angle at the center, okay. So we are going to prove that angle AOB is equal to angle COD. These two angles we are proving they are equal. Okay. Come again, chapter triangle congruency. Okay. You can see that there are two triangles and we are proving that both the triangles are congruent. If both the triangles will be congruent, then what happens by CPCT, angle AOB is equal to angle COD. in triangle AOB and triangle COD. OA is equal to OC, OA is equal to OC, and OB is equal to OD. Reason, radii of circle. Radii of circle, what does it mean? Radii of circle always equal. I am writing here again. Radii of a circle. Radii of a circle. Because radii of a circle always equal. So equal and everything equal. Two sides are equal and equal chords. It is given that AB is equal to CD. AB is equal to CD. Given. What happened now? Why? Side congruency rule. Triangle AOB is congruent to triangle COD. Therefore, by CPCT, angle AOB is equal to angle COD. Okay. And if angle AOB is equal to angle COD, what does it mean? They are subtending, both the chords are subtending equal angle at the center. So this is theorem number 1. Okay. Think it's clear? Second, theorem 10.2 is its converse part. And what is the difference between converse part and main part? The given and to prove are exchanged. That means now the second time the statement is, if two chords are subtending equal angles at the center, prove that both the chords are equal. Okay. Two chords. See, that is theorem 10.1. Now coming to theorem 10.2. And what is 10.2? Converse part. Two angles which are subtended at the centers by the chords are equal, then prove that the chords are equal. Okay. What is the difference? As I told you, the converse part, that means given and to prove they are exchanged. Okay. In circle COR, what is given? It is given that angle AOB is equal to angle COD. That is given. This angle is equal to this one. To prove, AB is equal to CD. Right? Coming to proof, what is the statement of it? If two chords are subtending equal angle at the center, prove that both the chords are equal. Okay? AB is equal to CD. Again in triangle AOB and triangle COD. Here what happens? AO is equal to OC and OB is equal to OD. Reason? Radii of a circle. Okay. And third one is angle AOB is equal to angle COD given. Which congruency is using? Side angle side. By side angle side congruency rule, triangle AOB is congruent to triangle COD. Therefore, by CPCT, AB is equal to CD. Proved. Okay. So this is the converse part. You will remember and memorize these theorem statement also. Theorem 10.1 is, what is it? Equal chords of a circle subtend equal angle at the center. 10.2. If two chords subtending equal angle at the center, prove that both the chords are equal. Okay. Now here let us discuss one thing. Here I have taken one circle, and in a chapter congruency, there was an example of congruency of circles. Two circles are congruent, then you know what is the condition. If I'll say that two circles are congruent, Like in a triangle, if I am telling that two triangles are congruent, then I have to prove that angle, side angle, side angle, side RHS and side, whatever it is. But in a circle, if I am telling that two circles are congruent, okay, that means only one thing should be equal, that is radius of a circle. Like one circle having radius 4 centimeter, second circle having radius 4 centimeter, that means both the circles are congruent to each other. So what does it mean? The general term is two or more circles are congruent if they are having their radii are same. That means the length of the radius would be same. Okay. So same theorem 10.1 and theorem 10.2. If in place of one circle, I will use two circles and both the circles are congruent, then what happens? Actually, this I am discussing about exercise 10.2, in which two questions are given, one based on the main theorem and second on the converse of theorem 10.1. But in place of one circle, there are two circles. Here I am taking two circles. And when it is told that both the circles are congruent, both the circles are congruent. Okay. What does it mean? They are equal in radius wise. So radius wise, if both the circles are equal, that means they are congruent. And again, using theorem 10.1, equal chords of a circle subtend equal angle at two congruent triangles. Okay. So here we will do one thing. One is AB, here is a CD. AB, that is CD. Chords are equal. Okay. Circle, center O dash. OA, OB, OC, OD. Because these circles are congruent, that means they are equal in radius. So radius OA, OB, OC or OD are equal. Okay. Two chords are equal, prove that the subtending angles at the center should be equal. So we are proving that angle AOB is equal to angle CO dash D. Using the same thing in triangle AOB and in triangle CO dash D. What happened? OA is equal to OC, O dash C, and OB is equal to O dash D. AB is equal to CD. Again, using here by side congruency, both the triangles are congruent. Therefore, by CPCT, angle AOB is equal to angle CO dash D. And its converse part is also the same. If two chords subtending equal angle at the center, prove that both the chords are equal in two congruent circles. So again, we are using two circles. So this is the theorem 10.1. It is not only for a single circle. If two or more circles, they are congruent, we can use the theorem. So these are theorem 10.1 and 10.2, and based on two questions, based on that, there are, in place of one, there are two circles using the same theorem 10.1 and 10.2. Okay. Instead of one circle, you can use the same theorem in two circles. One side angle side, one angle side, and second is side angle side. Okay. And after that, we are coming on next theorem, that is theorem 10.3. Theorem 10.3. So this is the completion of exercise 10.2 also, because in that there are two questions. They based on 10.1 and 10.2 theorems. Okay. Having two circles and both the circles are congruent. Now coming theorem 10.3, it's a very important theorem. Theorem 10.3. Perpendicular from center to chord bisect the chord. Perpendicular from center to chord. Perpendicular from center to chord bisects the chord in a circle. Okay. Perpendicular from center to chord bisects the chord in a circle. Theorem 10.3. This is the theorem which is used in class 10th also. By the way, all the theorems which we are proving here, almost all theorems will be used in further class 10th, 11th and other higher classes. Perpendicular from center to chord bisect the chord. Circle AB, What is it? It is a chord AB, center O, given. What is given? Perpendicular from center to chord. This is the perpendicular. And clearly it is mentioned perpendicular, that means it is making angle 90 degree to the chord. Right? In given, what should I write here? OD perpendicular on AB. OD perpendicular on AB in circle COR. Center O, radius R. Okay. Center O, radius R. Circle. To prove, what we have to prove? That perpendicular from center to chord, bisect the chord. That means AD is equal to BD. AD is equal to BD. This we are going to prove. Using the same concept in triangle OAD and triangle OBD. OAD and triangle OBD. Okay. OA is equal to OB. Reason? Radii of a circle. Always equal. OD is equal to OD. Common. I told you always you have to write the reason on the right hand side. It is compulsory. And third one is OD perpendicular to AB. It means angle ODA is equal to angle ODB. Each 90. Okay. Which congruency is using here? Right angle, hypotenuse and side. By RHS congruency rule, triangle OAD is congruent to triangle OBD. Therefore, a very common term, CPCT. Therefore, by CPCT, angle AD is equal to BD. Proved. Okay. AD is equal to BD. And by CPCT, angle AOD is equal to angle BOD. That means this perpendicular will be the angle bisector also. Angle A is equal to angle B. Many more things we can prove, but here we are proving only AD is equal to BD. So what is it? It is theorem 10.3, perpendicular from center to chord, bisect the chord. Theorem 10.4 is the converse part of it. Converse part of it, that means again the given and to prove are exchanged. That means in a circle, a line joining from the center to midpoint of the chord will be perpendicular to the chord. Okay. Theorem 10.4. Theorem 10.4. 10.4 is the converse part. What is it? Line joining from the center of a circle to the midpoint of the chord is perpendicular to the chord. Line joining from the center of a circle to midpoint of the chord. That means it is given that AD is equal to BD in a circle COR. We have to prove that OD perpendicular to AB. OD perpendicular to AB. Okay. Again in triangle OAD and triangle OBD, one OA is equal to OB, radii of a circle. After that, OD is equal to OD common. And third one is AD is equal to BD given. AD is equal to BD given. Now what is it? OA, AD and OD. That means by side, side, side. By side, side, side congruency rule, triangle OAD is congruent to triangle OBD. By CPCT, angle ODA is equal to angle ODB. Angle ODA is equal to angle ODB. Yet we have not proved that it is 90 degree. Here we have proved that these two angles are equal. If these two angles are equal, After that, angle ODA plus angle ODB is equal to 180 degree. What is the reason? Linear pair, straight line. Linear pair. And ODA, ODB both are equal. So may I write here 2 angle ODA is equal to 180. Therefore, ODA is equal to 90 degree. Okay. ODA plus ODB is equal to 180. ODA is equal to 90 degree because they are equal 2 times I can write here. So now it is coming ODA 90. And it is 90 degree. That means OD perpendicular on AB. That is the proof of converse of this theorem 10.3. So 10.4 is a converse of 10.3. Okay. So now there are discussion of 4 theorems, 10.1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are discussing of 1 or 2 questions from exercise 10.3. Theorem, exercise 10.3. In exercise 10.3, 1, 2 questions are oral. Orally, you can solve the draw different pairs of circles. Draw different pairs of circles. How many points does each pair have in common? Okay. And what is the maximum number of common points? This is a plane. On the plane, suppose a task is given to you that you are going to draw the different pairs of angles. Different pairs of circles. How many different pairs of circle you can draw? You can draw like one circle. This is second circle. So one type of pair. One circle. Second circle. Second type of pair. One circle. And that is the second circle of pair. I think these are the 3 ways by which we can represent 3 different type of pair of circles. In this circle number 1, you are seeing that both the circles are intersecting each other at how many points? 2 points. A and B. Here you can see that both the circles, they are not intersecting each other. That means there is no common points. Third one is, this is a pair of circle in which both the circles are intersecting, both the circles touching each other at only 1 point. It is a single point, like the point is A. Okay. So there are 3 pairs. In this, how many common points are possible? So there are maximum 2 common points are possible, A and B. So what is the meaning of this question? That we can draw here 3 different type of pairs of circles and maximum number of points common. These are the 2 common points when both the circles are intersecting each other at 2 points. Okay. One more question given in this exercise, that is, suppose you are given a circle, give a construction to find its center. Okay. Suppose you have given a circle. This is 10.3 exercise. It's very small exercise. 10.1 is oral exercise. 10.2 having 2 questions in which they are based on one theorem, 10.1 and converse of it. 10.3 having 2 and 3 questions. So already we are solving it. Yes, one circle is given. For example, suppose you have drawn a circle by a bangle. Okay, this is the circle. Circle you have drawn. Okay, and we don't know where is the center of this circle, because when we draw the circle by the pair of compass, you know that what is the center point. Here there is no center. Then how will we know that what is the point where we have to treat this as a center of the circle? So we will discuss about the procedure of it. How to do this. Construct. In the question they are saying that give a construction to find its center. Give a construction to find its center. Okay. Construction to find the center of a circle. Okay. Construction to find the center of a circle. How to find out the center of a circle? Procedure, step by step. Number one, first I am solving here. I am finding the center and then I have to write the step one by one. Procedure, working procedure first. After that working procedure, first I am doing it. Okay. So we are going to draw two chords. Okay. First of all, draw two chords which should not be parallel. So the first thing is we have to draw two chords which are not parallel. That means non-parallel two chords are drawn on that circle. Suppose this is one is AB and second is CD. This should not be parallel. This should unequal, equal, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But they should not be parallel. This is one thing. So draw two chords which are non-parallel on a circle. This is one. Second, this is the first step. Second step, we have to draw the perpendicular bisector of both the chords. Draw the perpendicular bisector which can be drawn by the pair of compass. Draw the perpendicular bisector of AB. How to draw the perpendicular bisector of AB? A as a point, taking with A as a center, taking radius of half of more than AB. Draw two arcs on both sides having the same radius, B as a center, and cut these two arcs. Okay. With the help of ruler, join these two arcs like this. What is it? It is the perpendicular bisector of AB. Now we have to draw the perpendicular bisector of CD. Again doing the same thing. With C as a center, taking radius of half of more than CD, draw two arcs on either side of CD. Having D as a center, having same radius, cut these two arcs. Okay. And with the help of ruler, we will join them. This is the second perpendicular bisector. And you will see that the point where both the perpendicular bisectors are intersecting. This is the point where both the perpendicular bisector of intersecting is called the center of a circle. Okay. So this is the procedure by which we have to find the center of a circle when center is not given. Only in 3 steps we can write it. Draw two chords which are non-parallel on a circle. Second one, draw two perpendicular bisectors of these two chords intersecting each other at point O, and that O point will be considered as a center of the circle. Okay. So number one, draw any two non-parallel chords. Say AB and CD. Okay. Number two, draw perpendicular bisectors of AB and CD intersect each other at point O. And third one is O is the center of circle. So these are the 3 working procedures by which you can find the center of a circle if the circle is drawn by the bangle or any ring. That means in which there is no center. Center is not appear. Okay. So that is exercise 10.3. One more question is given. If two circles intersect at 2 points, prove that the center lies on the perpendicular bisector of it. This is the same thing. Two circles intersecting at, we'll draw perpendicular bisector and we'll have to use congruency of these two triangles and prove that it is lying on that only. Okay. One more theorem we have to discuss. Its proof is not given, by the way, but it is also an important theorem. Theorem 10.5. Theorem 10.5. Proof is not given, but I am explaining that how to prove it. At the statement of theorem 10.5, theorem 10.5, theorem is there is one and only one circle can pass through from three non-collinear points. Okay. There is one and only one circle can pass through three non-collinear points. One and only one. That means this is the uniqueness of one circle only. There is one and only one. Only one circle can pass through three non-collinear points. There is one and only one circle can pass through three non-collinear points. Okay. Three non-collinear points, that means the points, they are not on a straight line like this. Suppose this is the point A, here is a B, and another point is C. Points are not, all three points are not coming in a straight line. Here we want to prove that one and only one circle passes through of these three non-collinear points. Okay. So first of all, we have to draw a circle which is passing through three non-collinear points A, B, and C. And the procedure is the same as, first of all, we have to join from A to B. Second, we are going to join from B to C. This is the first step. Join A to B, join B to C. Draw two perpendicular bisector of AB. Is L. Draw another perpendicular bisector of BC is, suppose it is M. And they are intersecting each other at point O. So that is the circle, that is the center of a circle with O as a center, taking radius of OA or OB or OC. When you draw a circle, this circle will pass through these three non-collinear points. This is the procedure. This is the procedure of making a circle through three non-collinear points. But this is not a theorem. This is the procedure of making a circle through three non-collinear points. But here we are going to prove that there is a one and only one circle can pass through from these three non-collinear points. So this is a circle. Suppose another circle, by contradictory method, I am going to prove it. Suppose another circle is passing through these three non-collinear points, and the center of this circle will be O dash. Okay. How to prove it? Suppose another circle can pass through these three non-collinear points, and the center of that circle is, let the center point be O dash. Let the center point, let the center be O dash, which passes points A, B, and C. So here we have to suppose another circle can be drawn. Suppose another circle can be drawn through points A, B, C. Let the center of that circle be O dash, which passes through point A, B, C. It's okay. Now what happens? Now we have to draw the perpendicular bisector of AB. So the perpendicular bisector of AB, you know that if there is a line segment, then there is one and only one perpendicular bisector can be drawn of a given line segment. So as we know that there is one and only one perpendicular bisector can pass through a line segment. This picture is clear for everyone. Suppose this is a line segment PQ and you are going to draw the perpendicular bisector, then there's a single perpendicular can be drawn through line AB. One and only one perpendicular bisector can be drawn of this line segment PQ. Okay. So the perpendicular bisector which we are going to draw of AB, it must lie on L. Same as the perpendicular bisector of BC must lie on M, and you know that L and M are intersecting at point O. So that means the center O dash which we have taken, this is none other than, but it is O only. That means O and O dash are coincident points, and both the points are coincident. What does it mean? The center of a circle which we are taking away from O, it is not away from O, it is exactly at the O. So that means there is one and only one circle can pass through three non-collinear points. Other circles we are taking, their centers we are taking different, O1, O2, O3, but finally we will conclude that all these centers, they are not other points, they are actually the point is O, right? So this is theorem 10.5. So today we have discussed about these 5 theorems and some exercises. You will remember and memorize these 5 theorems statement and their results. And in my next lecture, we'll have to start this exercise 10.4. 10.4 should be started. Yes, 2 more exercises here, 10.4 and 10.5. So in the next lecture, we'll have to start 10.4 and whatever the theorems left will be discussed. Okay. Till then, bye. Thank you.